We start this hour with breaking news out in Southern California this morning. 3 major wildfires now putting tens of thousands under evacuation orders as a hurricane of flames engulfs parts of the Los Angeles area. Peak winds of more than 100 miles per hour and dry conditions are fueling these devastating fires. Thousands of acres have already been torched as firefighters struggle to contain the fires.
The backyard's on fire. I'm out of here.
Oh my gosh. So what happened? Is there anything we can do to help you, sir?
You can take these paintings, I guess. I can't ride with these.
Listen, I'll take them for you. I work at NBC.
Thank you.
I'll make sure you get them.
Each of these fires are 0% contained, with officials now worried this could continue for days as the winds threaten to spread the fires to even more densely populated areas. It is 9 a.m. here on the East Coast, 6 a.m. out west. Good morning. I'm Savannah Sellers. We have a lot to get to this morning. We're going to begin our coverage with NBC News correspondent Liz Kreutz on the ground. Liz, good morning.
Well, hey there, this is an extremely chaotic situation unfolding here. I've honestly never seen anything like what's happening in L.A. right now. Overnight winds pushed the Palisades fire north here to the Pacific Coast Highway, north on the PCH into Malibu, where now multiple homes are burning. These are beachfront homes, home after home we've witnessed get engulfed in flames, and we can just continue to see it spread, hitting a power line now. Firefighters have been trying to put out these flames, but they are simply overwhelmed with multiple fires igniting overnight in the LA area, all driven by these life-threatening hurricane-force winds.
This morning, the firestorm officials had feared becoming a reality, with a third out-of-control wildfire exploding overnight in the Los Angeles area.
At the end of the day, I mean, who's ready for something like this?
Overnight, flames reaching the iconic Malibu neighborhood and its beachfront homes. In the coastal neighborhood Pacific Palisades, multiple homes completely engulfed in flames, with desperate residents rushing to get out. Planes flying above the area, capturing the massive reach of the inferno. The fire jumping Pacific Coast Highway, burning all the way to the ocean, even threatening the famed Getty Villa Art Museum. And 2 more fires igniting overnight, spreading to Pasadena, where this Jewish temple erupted in flames.
It's like a bad, horrific dream.
In Altadena, dramatic video showing elderly patients being evacuated from a senior center. The Palisades fire igniting mid-morning Tuesday, with the area's hilly, winding roads quickly clogging with cars.
The homeowners are saying they're unable to access any exit routes. There's fire on both sides of the roads.
We are in bumper-to-bumper traffic right now as hundreds of people try to get out. You can see flames here on both sides of the road with very little visibility. Many abandoning their vehicles to flee on foot.
Policemen started telling everybody, get out of your car, leave your car if you want to live.
A bulldozer brought in to clear a path, pushing dozens of cars out of the way. Smoke from the growing fire darkening the skies. This man breaking down, desperate to reach his dogs.
I've been trying to get to my house for 5 hours.
Later reunited, his house thankfully saved. Overnight, a high school up in flames. The fire hitting some of California's most famed areas, home to iconic houses and sites and many celebrities. Chris Pratt posting overnight, please send prayers and strength to those affected. James Woods posting this video of the fires approaching his home. Beloved actor Steve Guttenberg among those stepping up to help his neighbors.
When things like this occur, you really realize how vulnerable you are and how important community is.
Scenes of unbelievable devastation and loss as the relentless winds fueling these fires show no signs of letting up.
Here in Malibu, this fire, the Palisades fire, continues to burn, and officials say that one firefighter was injured fighting this fire with a serious head injury. There's also multiple burn victims, they say. LA Fire is stretched so thin right now that they put out an all call asking for any off-duty firefighters to come and help them fight these fires because, look, the scary part is we are still very much in the middle of this windstorm with the worst winds still to come. Back to you.
All right, Liz, thank you so much for the latest on these firefighting efforts. Let's bring in L.A. County Fire Captain Sheila Kelleher. Captain, thank you for your time this morning. I know how busy you are. Just please give us the latest updates, any estimates you have as far as the scale of these 2 bigger fires, the Palisades and the Eaton. Do we know how much damage so far?
Listen, that damage assessment's going to go on for the next probably week. It's going to be very hard to tell what's happening, but that footage that you saw and that reporting that they did, you see it's not going to be good. It is really volatile out here. So it's going to take a while to get arms around what the damage actually is.
Captain Kelleher, we just heard there are also off-duty firefighters being called up. Walk us through just how big of an operation this is, logistically, how you guys are doing when it comes to water supplies and manpower.
This is a massive undertaking logistically with 3 major campaign fires going on at the same time. We're lucky we're under unified command on all of these fires, which means multiple agencies come down and we work together and assist as one big fire department. And you can imagine we are spread thin, and the terrain and the wind, you said it best when you said it's a hurricane force wind with fire attached to it. It's like one of the worst ones I've ever seen. I've been on the job 25 years. So resources are thin. We're doing everything that we can. We are limited when the air operations are not helping out from up above because the wind is so strong. So here we go, right?
Yeah, I mean, Captain, the aerial attack's so important when you have a major fire. You don't have that right now because of these strong winds. Help us understand what these brave crews are doing on the ground right now to try and contain these fires as best as possible.
It is incredibly challenging because these fires are all sitting in very tough topography it's super hilly, super challenging in that respect. And you can imagine with 50, 60, almost 100-mile-an-hour winds, what that does, blowing the embers alone and the heat and the volatility and the instability of these winds and unpredictability, to be honest. I was at the Palisades fire till about an hour ago, and it just has not let up. And I think somebody said it earlier, usually when the sun goes down, we get a little break from the wind, but it actually increased overnight and has not stopped. So you're fighting a hurricane that has fire attached to it.
Obviously, with the winds, it makes it quite unpredictable. But where are you preparing for this fire to go next?
You can look at it and kind of map it out where the winds are blowing. They're blowing in a southwesterly direction. If they stay consistent like that, again, they can switch and change a little bit. But they have all their mapping programs set out, looking for what they need and to place the people where they need to place them. And, we've all been on telephone standby for several days preparing for this weather, knowing that cancel all your plans, you're going to work.
When the sun comes up in a situation like this, oftentimes people want to go to where these fires burn to see it for themselves. What is your message to people right now?
The message is please stay away. This wind is not going to die down until maybe later tonight into tomorrow. And just driving is treacherous, and especially if you have, a bigger vehicle or something like that. And besides that, you're just blocking the way of the first responders and the emergency responders that really need to get in and do their jobs. So stay in a safe place, stay out of harm's way, and let us do our jobs.
All right. Captain Sheila Kelleher, thank you for your time this morning. We're thinking of you and your entire crew out there.
Thank you.
We're going to take a closer look at what to expect from the wind-driven wildfires hitting Los Angeles.
Meteorologist Angie Lastman's keeping an eye on it all. Angie, good morning.
Good morning, guys. Unfortunately, not good news when it comes to the winds going through at least the next 12 hours or so. We'll finally start to see things maybe weakening a bit here as we get into the later parts of today and eventually closer to the weekend. But in the meantime, we've got a particularly dangerous situation of red flag warnings up for 19 million people, including Ventura, all the way down towards the border. This area, we're not expecting to see those alerts expire anytime soon because all of those ingredients are staying in place that we, of course, are so concerned about when it comes to fighting these fires. These are the 3 fires we're looking at. You can see the Hearst fire, Palisades fire, and the Eaton fire. Really impressive on radar imagery. Those smoke plumes putting particulates into the air, so much so that we, of course, are seeing them on radar. That just shows you, one, what the air quality is like for the general area, but just how massive and really intense these fires are burning right now. We've got, of course, wind speeds anywhere from 45 to 95 miles per hour across specifically Palisades fire. That's what we've been seeing as far as those wind speeds that have come in so far this morning. We've had even higher amounts when it comes to wind speeds elsewhere on Mammoth Mountain, 135 miles per hour. That's, of course, higher elevation, but even still, this just tells you those destructive winds close to 100 miles per hour, those relative humidity values close to single digits, and all of that means that we're going to continue to see extreme fire behavior across across this region. Notice where the extreme risk is. Focused in that same area where you have most of those 3 fires burning, Malibu to Santa Clarita and down towards Glendale. But we've got a large chunk of the state also in the critical risk, where you see that red Riverside stretching down basically to the border. So again, all of these ingredients, along with the extremely dry vegetation, are in place for us to continue to see this really erratic fire behavior and those fires spreading quickly throughout the day today. We've got a couple of things happening. We've got a high pressure centered over the Rockies, and we've also got this low pressure we're going to watch to become a cross-country storm, winter storm that is. Right now it's sitting over Mexico. Those two very strong pressure systems close together, that means that we get really powerful winds. So essentially they're going offshore. We're seeing all of that dry air kind of work into those regions, coming down the mountains as they come up over it. Of course, not getting any of that added moisture from onshore winds. So this means that dry conditions, of course, windy conditions, the dry vegetation, all of that playing a part in what firefighters will have to deal with here as we get through the day today. It's a big chunk of the country, too, that's under these wind alerts. It's not just Southern California. This extends into Nevada and Arizona. 36 million people are dealing with these life-threatening and destructive winds from a very impressive windstorm that is going to be ongoing at least through the day today and not really looking to weaken until we get closer to the weekend. Here's what we've got as far as wind gusts peak possible. 69 miles per hour for Simi Valley. You can see Los Angeles into the low 60s, 74 miles per hour for Falling Springs. So just essentially very impressive wind gusts that are going to be possible. On top of that, I mentioned the dry vegetation. We just really need rain in this area, and it doesn't look like we're going to see a whole lot of that anytime soon. Since October 1st, we're running at less than 10% of normal for all of Southern California. Irvine at 0%. We've essentially received not a whole lot of rain across most of this area, which of course, again, leads to those dry fuels for these fires to not just spark and continue, but of course spread very quickly, guys. This is going to be something, this situation that we're going to have to watch through the day today. Again, winds do look to weaken a bit as we get closer to the weekend. So we'll have to keep a close eye on that.
All right, Angie, and we'll check back with you again in just a moment here.
Yeah, we will. Thanks, Angie. Meanwhile, severe winter weather is hitting millions of people across the U.S. this morning. Winter weather alerts are now in place for at least 36 million people, with this next storm expected to dump snow on states from Texas all the way up to Tennessee in the coming days.
NBC News correspondent Priscilla Thompson is on the ground in Dallas with more.
This morning, wildfires rage on the West Coast. Much of the rest of the country still feeling frigid winter temps. Residents from Philly all the way down to Florida are feeling the chill, while others are digging out, braving bitter cold temps that are not letting up.
The wind makes it worse.
D.C., New York, and Chicago all at or below freezing today.
There's snow everywhere. Took me about an hour to drive, about 20 minutes.
This woman forced to walk to a store with the roads around her home nearly impassable.
Had I not had kids at home, I wouldn't have tried to make it to the store in this.
Officials urging caution on the roads.
We have multiple reports of motor vehicle and traffic-related incidents, so slow down.
Meanwhile, this morning, communities across the South stocking up at stores in anticipation of rare snow in the region.
They're coming in buying it all.
Millions are under winter storm watches from Texas to North Carolina and Virginia.
We encourage all of our residents to take the time to prepare now.
At least 4 people have died from this week's dangerous winter weather. That's also having a major impact on air travel nationwide. Many businesses and schools remain closed across the country, inspiring plenty of kids to make the most of the snow day.
All right, Priscilla Thompson, thank you.
And Angie is back to take a look at this part of the weather story.
Yeah, hey, Angie, tell us the latest here.
Hi, guys. Remember I mentioned that low pressure that's, of course, playing a role in how strong these winds are over parts of the Southwest. That is going to be on the move, and that's going to be part of this system that we watch kind of unfold and leave us with the wintry weather and really the difficult travel weather over the next couple of days. So here's the lay of the land. We've got 36 million people under winter alerts. Dallas is included in that winter storm warning already. We've got Little Rock as well. But these alerts really extend up into the Tennessee Valley, and these are just some of the spots that are going to be impacted by multiple kind of threats from this system. So here's how it plays out. This is a look at tomorrow. Notice we get through the early morning hours and into the evening hours, and we've got the potential for snow in parts of northern Texas. We've got icy conditions potentially for Dallas. I think the commute tomorrow morning in Dallas is going to be quite difficult, but even extending through the day in northern Texas, travel will be difficult. We'll likely see crippling conditions when it comes to being on the roads or even in the the air across this region, stretching into Oklahoma, parts of Arkansas as well. Little Rock and Oklahoma City both included in that. And notice we've also not just have the wintry weather, but we've got rain too. So that's, of course, going to be impactful when it comes to the potential for some localized flooding in that area. The system's on the move for Friday. We wrap up the work week with heavy snow across the Appalachians and the Tennessee Valley. We've also got, once again, another chance for a major metro area in parts of the South to deal with some wintry weather. That's ice, that's potentially snow for the Atlanta metro area. Again, this is going to be problematic. It doesn't take much to cause difficulty on the roadways in Atlanta when we see some of these wintry conditions. And then the rain stretched down towards parts of the South, of course, on the warmer side of that system. By Saturday, this works into the mid-Atlantic and the Northeast. Just expecting essentially at this point light snow to maybe moderate snow, and then some of that rain across parts of the Southeast with the potential for some storms as well. So multi-impact kind of system over the next couple of days. Let's highlight what we need to know as far as the rain. Localized flooding amounts maybe 3 inches for the more widespread area on the higher end, but we could see some isolated amounts higher than that, maybe up to 5 inches. So again, never driving through those flooded roadways. We could see some of the ponding on the roads here as we get through the next couple of days. The icing is going to be significant when it comes to isolated spots. We've got a quarter of an inch possible for those icing amounts. That's going to be few and far between. I think more widespread, maybe a 100th of an inch. But either way, when we've got a little ice on the roads in Dallas, Tupelo, Atlanta, that makes it a little difficult for folks that aren't used to potentially driving on icy roads and maybe are out of practice. We also have the potential to see some heavy snow, specifically, once again, across some of those areas that don't often see this. We've got northern parts of Texas, Dallas included in that, Texarkana, Little Rock, all with the potential to see over a half of a foot of snow. But really the potential for a couple of inches or more stretches up into the Tennessee Valley and then up closer towards the Great Lakes. We'll see those highest totals, though, centered from Texas to Tennessee, guys. And on top of that, we have the chilly conditions in place for some folks as well. 8 million people under these cold weather advisories with temperatures into the single digits, but feeling well below zero in places like Minneapolis and Bismarck this morning. And those temperatures are going to continue here on the cold side of things as we get through at least the next couple of days. You can see topping out just into the teens for Minneapolis. Norfolk ends up just into the 30s. Even Atlanta today ends up just into the low 40s with a wind chill of 31 degrees, guys.
All right, cold everywhere. All right, Angie, thank you so much. Stay tuned. We've got much more coverage of the California wildfires to come this morning on Morning News Now.
Plus, President-elect Donald Trump announces a series of controversial foreign policy positions that could put the U.S. at odds with its allies. Details are up next.
Welcome back. With less than 2 weeks to go until his inauguration, President-elect Trump is laying out some controversial foreign policy positions. In a marathon news conference yesterday, Mr. Trump reiterated his desire to seize Greenland and refused to rule out military action to capture the Panama Canal. NBC News senior White House correspondent Gabe Gutierrez has more.
Savannah and Joe, good morning. It was a marathon news conference that rippled across the world. President-elect Trump often repeated the phrase America first during his campaign. Now he's taking it to a new level, laying out a dramatic foreign policy and threatening U.S. allies. This morning, President-elect Trump is not ruling out using military force to retake the Panama Canal or acquire Greenland.
You're talking about Panama and Greenland. No, I can't assure you on either of those two. But I can say this, we need them for economic security. The Panama Canal was built for our military.
The U.S. handed control of the canal back to Panama 25 years ago as part of a treaty signed decades earlier. But Trump says China's taken advantage.
China's basically taken it over.
And after first floating the idea during his first term, Trump is now ramping up his desire to buy Greenland for national security.
You have Russian ships all over the place.
The Danish prime minister insists her country's territory is not for sale, even as Donald Trump Jr. visits Greenland as a private citizen.
Just here as tourists, seeing it looks like an incredible place.
Meanwhile, some of the comments made by his father coming with possible economic impacts for Americans. Trump vowing to slap tariffs on multiple countries, including Mexico, while suggesting renaming the Gulf of Mexico.
The Gulf of America, what a beautiful name. And it's appropriate.
Trump also repeatedly mocking the U.S.'s other top trading partner, Canada, joking it's the 51st state, and now suggesting using economic, not military, force to annex it.
Because Canada and the United States, that would really be something.
Outgoing Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau responding, there isn't a snowball's chance in hell that Canada would become part of the United States. And while Trump draws attention on the global stage, President Biden is speaking out in a new interview, telling USA Today that he believes he could have won the election in November. And asked if he would have had the vigor to serve 4 more years, Biden responding, "I don't know. Who the hell knows? So far, so good. But who knows what I'm going to be when I'm 86 years old." And in a preview of the incoming administration's priorities, the Republican-led House just passed its first bill of the new Congress, the Laken-Riley Act, which gives more power to immigration and customs enforcement. The bill is named for the Georgia nursing student murdered last year by an undocumented immigrant and will now go to the Senate for an initial vote on Friday. Savannah and Joe.
All right, Gabe, thank you.
We're getting new details this morning about the man who exploded a Tesla Cybertruck outside a Trump hotel on the Vegas Strip. Authorities say he used ChatGPT to help plan the attack, something they believe may be a first in U.S. history. NBC News correspondent Morgan Chesky has the latest.
A New Year's Day explosion on the Las Vegas Strip was apparently partially planned using artificial intelligence.
I think this is the first incidents that I'm aware of on U.S. soil where ChatGPT is utilized to help an individual build a particular device.
Authorities say Matthew Livelsberger, a U.S. Army Master Sergeant and Green Beret, asked ChatGPT a series of questions days before the incident. How to acquire and use explosive materials.
The research on ChatGPT determined that he needed at least 2,000 feet per second velocity on the firearm in order to be able to actually cause a full detonation of all the explosives he had.
Authorities say the 37-year-old fatally shot himself in the head right before his rented Tesla Cybertruck loaded with more than 60 pounds of pyrotechnic material exploded, injuring 7 bystanders. In addition, police unveiled that prior to arriving at the Trump Hotel, Livelsberger also poured racing-grade fuel into the Cybertruck.
If he was to achieve a high-order detonation of that, it would have been a significantly different blast. So whether he failed to achieve that mission, whether he backed out of that, we can't get inside his head to answer.
Police believe the flash from the gun may have set off the explosives, showing a video the moment after the muzzle flashed. Flames engulfed the truck's cabin. Authorities also revealing that Livelsberger left behind what they called a 6-page manifesto, writing that he believed he was being followed and that he had initially planned to drive to the Grand Canyon.
There was a change in plans, and he showed up here at the Trump Towers on the following day on January 1st.
The note also shedding light on Livelsberger's mental state leading up to that attack.
He has graphic encounters from his military experience that replay in his head over and over, and that now he feels like he's a shell of a human being with nothing to live for.
Our thanks to Morgan Chesky for that report. Well, OpenAI, that's the parent company of ChatGPT, they released a statement saying, in part, our models are designed to refuse harmful instructions and minimize harmful content. In this case, ChatGPT responded with information already publicly available on the internet and provided warnings against harmful or illegal activities. Coming up, we are continuing to follow those unprecedented wildfires out of Southern California.
We've got the latest on the inferno scorching the LA area as thousands evacuate. More on that next.
We are back now with our continuing coverage out of Southern California, where several wildfires are ravaging the Los Angeles area.
Thousands of people have already been evacuated after hurricane-strength winds and dry conditions sparked 3 big wildfires, fires that are spreading rapidly. Right now, hundreds of thousands of people are without power, the flames burning thousands of acres throughout the region, making it tough for first responders. The wildfires, 0% contained. No word yet on any injuries or deaths, and we are awaiting an update from fire officials coming up at 11 a.m. Eastern.
Well, drivers trying to evacuate the fire zones have encountered traffic gridlock on busy roads. There are several freeway and highway closures, as well as schools that will not open today. Let's go to NBC News national climate reporter Chase Kane. He is in the Pacific Palisades, the westernmost fire burning here. Chase, thank you for joining us. So part of what's been making this fire so intense, really like nothing we've ever seen, is just how strong these winds are. Y'all have been reporting it's basically like a fire in the middle of a hurricane. It's also meant that firefighting assets like the helicopters that can drop those big tanks of water, they haven't been able to be used. What is the latest on conditions, and when might those be able to get in the air?
That's really the big question here, Savannah, because, of course, we need the winds to die down so that they can get the helicopters and planes up. California has the largest aerial firefighting force in the world, but they haven't been able to use it here for quite some time. I'll step out of the way here and show you the scene that we've been showing you this morning at the Pacific Coast Highway and Sunset Boulevard. Some good news is that there was a fire, an ember, a hot spot that broke out between the office building closest to us and the condo building just behind it. But you might be able to see some firefighters, some fire trucks back there in the distance. They got in there and they were able to sort of tamp down that hot spot to keep some of these larger buildings here along the Pacific Coast Highway from going up in flames. You might also hear LA police back there telling people that they cannot drive on Sunset Boulevard. They came out here to make sure that people were staying out of this area to give those fire trucks that you're seeing arrive right now time to get in and try and keep these larger buildings safe. You know, they've been doing what they can, but it is a kind of an impossible task at times because, you know, it's of course dark. The power has been turned off. The humidity is so low. And as you mentioned, these winds are so strong, Savannah and Joe, gusting at times well into hurricane strength.
Every house saved, every building saved is a small victory for these firefighters. They've been out there for hours already tackling these flames. They will likely be out there for days and days. They must be exhausted. How are they holding up? How many resources does it seem firefighters need right now?
I mean, you know, I don't know that there's such a thing as too many firefighters, but, you know, they are hitting limits in terms of, like, you know, how long a person can physically withstand this. That's why they've been bringing in other firefighters from Northern California, from Arizona as well. The last update we got was that there were roughly 1,500 firefighters that had come here to Southern California, with now reports of a fourth fire that has broken out. So a combined, we think, 5,000 acres. But, you know, as we've been talking about, they really don't have a good sense of how many things have burned, how big these fires are until the sun comes up and until they can hopefully get planes or helicopters up to get a better look at the situation, Savannah and Joe.
And Chase, miraculously, I mean, the best news here, we have not heard any reports of any casualties during what's clearly a life-threatening situation. That is because people are heeding evacuation warnings. Walk us through the importance of that and remind us exactly what those orders are, the areas.
Yeah, sorry, I was just listening to what seemed like a vehicle evacuating, but maybe ran over something in the road, so they're driving down the road with a flat tire just to get out of here. So yes, hopefully, Savannah and Joe, people are taking those evacuation orders seriously. I'm staying cautiously optimistic, but I say cautiously because often with a fire this intense and this dangerous burning so erratically, it's often not until they start to get the fire under control and they can get into homes or maybe even cars that were abandoned. We certainly don't hope that they're finding anyone who wasn't able to make it out, but that's kind of the fear that I think is sitting in the background of what do we find once they start to get things under control.
You know, and Chase, there are reports of down power lines. Utility companies are warning they may have to shut off electricity for hundreds of thousands of people. So what you have are people who maybe aren't in the immediate fire evacuation zones who don't have power. That power is important because you need to get those warnings about whether your area is in danger, whether you need to evacuate quickly. Talk about the power situation there and the impacts that it has throughout the LA region.
Yeah, at least 300,000 people without power, may very well be more. And there's two different sources of that. There is the intentional power shutoffs, like you can see some of here at Sunset Boulevard of the Pacific Coast Highway. They shut off power to parts of this area to try and prevent new fires from breaking out. But then there are also the unplanned power outages where with winds this strong, it's bringing down branches and power lines. I mean, I live here in Los Angeles, and I woke up this morning to the sound of the fire alarm going off in my building, and that was because the power had gone out. So I was having to, you know, get ready this morning with a flashlight. A minor problem compared to so many people here, but the danger in that is that, you know, maybe you didn't have your cell phone charged, so you're not able to get those alerts. Maybe you're not able to get in touch with people. So yeah, power outages can just amplify or compound what's already a frightening, challenging situation. Savannah and Joe.
Chase Kane, thank you for bringing us your incredible reporting from the ground. Stay safe. We'll talk to you in a bit.
Our coverage of the California wildfires continues here on Morning News Now. Let's once again rejoin KNBC in Los Angeles and its coverage of these devastating fires.
Disasters and catastrophes like this, this can have a big impact on technology, and that's another point that you want to make to our viewers at home. I mean, you've got down power lines, you've got issues with cell technology as well. So this is going to impact you even if you're living in a neighborhood right now where there are not homes on fire.
Absolutely. Yeah. We're going to go to Brittany Hope. You are also monitoring the Pacific Palisades fire. Brittany, where are the conditions where you are? Tell us exactly where you are.
Yeah, so we're on Sunset right now, just north of PCH. A little bit ago, we heard and we saw a transformer blow. There's no longer any street lights here, but unfortunately, we can see a lot because of how strong the flames are. They are really kicking up right now. If you've been with us all morning, we have been monitoring the West Side Waldorf School and this strip mall here that has Rocco's. It has a Subway, a Mexican restaurant, a Thai restaurant, and the cleaners as well. Just within the past 3 minutes, you guys, the fire has officially made its way from those outbuildings at the Waldorf School through Rocco's. The Subway completely gone, the Mexican restaurant completely gone. In fact, we just heard a big loud crash and the roof completely collapsed. Firefighters themselves standing a far distance away. The issue, and I hope you can see it through the camera, these winds are just so powerful that, yeah, they're standing there with a powerful hose, but a lot of the water isn't even reaching the flames because as soon as it touches the air, the wind just picks up those water droplets. In fact, we've gotten sprayed a few times from this distance. Another big concern, you guys, is power lines. And Enrique was able to see through the viewfinder that there are power lines in certain places that look like they're about to fall. The big concern is if those are still energized. I can tell you this morning at around 3:30, when we first got off the 10, got onto PCH, we were trying to make it up to Palisades High. That's when you would make a right onto Temescal Canyon. Well, we couldn't make that right. Visibility was so horrible with all of the smoke. It wasn't until we were right up under those power lines where we saw that the power lines there in Temescal were really sloped and we couldn't get under safely. And then as we were driving on PCH, we had to take it like 10 miles an hour because there were fallen power lines and poles all along the highway. That got us to where we are now, PCH and Sunset. I did get an update from a girlfriend who lives in the area. So that building over there that's kind of in that cross shape, this is behind the West Side Waldorf School. She tells me she believes that that's the Lake Shrine, that's a meditation center here in the neighborhood. So she believes that's what's on fire there. As for what's above this strip mall here, which we can tell you a big concern is these two large buildings. Oh, you know what? The smoke is so thick right now. Okay, hopefully you're able to see them now that the smoke has spread a little bit. Those seem to be two condos. So a lot of people who live right above this. We have seen at multiple points this morning a lot of the trees here catch fire that are just around those condos. With winds like this, embers are flying in every single direction. It's like popcorn at this point of what's going to catch and what's not going to. Just a huge shout out to the fire crews. You have 2-3 people out here working the Waldorf School, this entire strip mall, and this whole hillside, doing what they can with a hose. At some point just a few minutes ago, my producer and I were texting. We could see them in the viewfinder just sitting on the hose spraying. I mean, they're exhausted. But what we're seeing here, it's just so heartbreaking. And as we drove up, we could see on the canyon on the other side of Sunset multiple homes that were on fire. There was fire that was right behind a big apartment complex that's above us. Now, behind us over there is the Chabad of Palisades. The Chabad's big menorah for Hanukkah had crashed down the hill. My photographer said he was able to see some burnt out cars as well there. Here, be careful, Enrique. We're going to step into the street a little bit here. I'm hoping we don't lose IFB. But what you can see right now, the sun is coming up. We can't see that. All we can see is this smoke that's just flying over us. So it's no surprise that aircraft isn't able to get over this fire. But at the same time, that's the exact reason that this is spread to thousands of acres, because all you have is these ground crews who are working so hard. but they can only get small spots at once. So up there on that hill, okay, certainly something is burning back there. That's the direction of the Chabad of Palisades. There's that menorah that's there on the ground. Something there is burning. We know the hillside of the Waldorf School is burning. And again, on this strip mall, it looks like, oh, right now, the Thai restaurant now catching fire as well. A huge reminder, everyone, be safe. But that's the very latest of what we're seeing here just after 6:30 on Sunset and PCH.
All right, Brittany, thank you for that. We want to get right back to NBC4's Michelle Vines. Again, she's covering the Eaton fire, and things have exploded at her location. Michelle.
Oh, wow.
Something's crystallizing, maybe with some of the materials on the roof or at the home, or maybe possible ammunition. We don't know. We're not experts. We're not pros. We're not firefighters in that realm. But we just saw 150-foot flames because now the fire on one home has reached the tree there. This is just complete devastation here on Sinaloa Street. Sinaloa and this cross street here, Mendocino. Black smoke surrounding this entire neighborhood, all in a glow here, house after house after house in Sinaloa.
You're watching KNBC, our affiliate in LA's incredible coverage of these devastating wildfires throughout Southern California right now. Stay with us. Morning News Now will be right back with more coverage in just a moment. We're back now with a look at the effects of screen time on children. Researchers in Ohio are pioneering a study taking a look inside the brains of hundreds of kids and how they're affected when exposed to the devices. NBC News Now anchor Vicki Nguyen visited Cincinnati Children's Hospital, got a firsthand look at the work they're doing.
Hey there, think about it this way. A child born in 2007 will never know a world without smartphones. Add in the time spent in front of TVs, tablets, and computers, and you can see how quickly the hours add up. Well, now researchers want to know how all this screen time is affecting our children's brains.
All right, only super special kids get to come back here.
Here at Cincinnati Children's Hospital, Rose Crimer is one of 395 children taking part in the early prediction study, which began in 2019. Today, the 5-year-old is pretending she's the captain of a submarine, an exercise to help her lie still for a 45-minute MRI that will take detailed images of her brain.
7, 8, 9, 10. Good job. Okay.
With the help of some goggles playing the movie Trolls and headphones to blunt the loud machine.
Can you see the screen all right?
Researchers take multiple scans and compare them to the images they took when she was just a few days old.
This is a brain?
This is a brain.
Dr. Nahal Parikh is leading the study looking at the brains of premature babies from birth through childhood to understand how they're affected by different risk factors, including exposure to screens.
What does this image tell you?
It tells us a lot when we correlate it with these exposures such as screen time and we correlate it with development. It tells us whether or not those things are having an impact.
Parents Emily and Harry Crimer signed up their baby girl Rose for the study.
Do you think there's a difference in TV screen time, like what we had growing up, and what they're exposed to on phones or iPads?
Phones and iPads so much more engaging for children, and especially if they can control it, so it's easier for them to just zone out.
Dr. John Hutton is at the forefront of this fast-developing field, and he's published several studies that already suggest higher levels of screen time can impact a child's growth. One result that keeps showing up, parts of the brain related to reading, language, and decision-making are often weaker in kids who have more screen time. So what are parents and caregivers to do? These experts say try not to introduce any screen time before age 3.
There's so many things we make kids wait to do in our society. We make them wait to drink beer, we make them wait to vote, we make them wait to have a gun. But for some reason, we're not doing the same thing with these very powerful devices that give access to all the contents related to all those things.
You think screen time is the new tobacco?
It's been compared to it, yeah. I mean, and actually, parents using cell phones with their kids has been compared to secondhand smoke.
But experts say we can stop the scrolling and screen time.
No YouTube, no phones, no iPads, even when they say they're educational.
Yes, because we don't really know that they're educational.
And what we do matters more than what we say.
What is your advice for parents who worry it's too late, they've let the cat out of the bag?
You can back it up, and you can back it up in the moment.
Meaning you should model the behavior you want to see.
Do you think parents are aware that they are part of the problem in terms of how addicted they are to their screens?
You can, notice, oh, I've got my cell phone, my child's not responding, they're upset, put it away and reorient and just help that child feel like you are there for them.
Parents are a child's first and most important teacher. That's why it's so important that things that are shared experiences like reading and playing with toys, so they can interact back and forth with language and feelings and emotions, and that's when good things happen with kids.
Good things Rose and her family hope researchers will learn to help us shape our views on these devices.
The important thing is to interact with your kids and talk to them, and that's how they learn language, and they don't always get that feedback from the screen.
There's something else to consider. There has been such a migration to screens in schools, in part because of the pandemic and the need for remote learning. But some experts are saying that schools really should reassess how much time kids are spending on screens in the classroom. And if you are concerned, talk to your child's school leaders about it, especially in those younger grades. Back to you.
All right, Vicki Nguyen, thank you.
Well, this time of year is prime time for job seekers and hiring managers. And if you're someone looking to make a job switch or maybe hire new employees, experts say you should use your social media accounts. According to recent data from Resume Genius, 1 in 5 Gen Zers are landing job interviews from TikTok. Take a look.
For most, social media is a hub for news, entertainment, and keeping up with friends. But can it also function as a job board?
Back in the day, you'd apply with a million other people, and it was really a luck of the draw.
Johnny C. Taylor is the president and CEO of SHRM, the Society for Human Resource Management.
We have found a market where applicants themselves say, I have to take it upon myself to make sure that I clear the masses.
Take Kayla Douglas, who sent an Instagram DM that changed the course of her career.
I was at a massive travel company for almost 4 years when I started to get the itch and wanted to see what else was out there.
Okay, so you're in this corporate job, feeling a little bit like, I think I'm ready for a change. What did you do?
I was sharing some projects I was working on that were relevant to the travel space and had connected with a couple of other like-minded travel professionals, one of whom was, at the time, the managing partner of Smart Flyer. One day I was watching Instagram stories and Arena had posted from the Remova store in Mexico City, and that's how we had started chatting. I asked her, I really admire your work, and if you ever have anything in the marketing space that is open, and she immediately said, send me your resume, would you like to come in and chat?
After you sent it, were you nervous or anything?
Of course! There wasn't a job description, so that was also the kind of unique nature of reaching out in this way. Sometimes you don't know what you're looking for until it's in front of you.
22-year-old Ashley Zhu is a content creator and videographer.
I'll take a random object, usually a food item, and I'll make it a very high-fidelity commercial from my dorm room or living room or apartment.
Her work caught the eye of a global fast food giant.
You've been posting all these videos, you've had some clients, and then one day you get an email from Taco Bell.
I opened my inbox and I'm like, okay. And I just went on.
You're like, I've heard of Taco Bell.
Heard of them.
What did it say?
We here at Taco Bell liked your content for a while. We want to work with you.
Was being on set as cool as you thought it'd be?
It was pretty reminiscent of just me and my camera, couple lights off Amazon. Like, we had a food stylist, we had people on set that I was directing, and right off the bat I was like, why are they listening to me?
For young people who are interested in creative fields, how important do you think it is to almost think of your social media as like a portfolio?
Honestly, for a young person who's trying to break into the industry, who doesn't necessarily have the connections yet, I think it should be probably your number one priority is just to make things and then post things.
Even small businesses are feeling the impact of a targeted, engaged network.
Employers, this is an amazing opportunity for us. We've spent the last 3 or 4 years in the middle of a war for talent, the great resignations. What social media profiles allow for us to do is to get to know the candidate, find out who they really are, and really do a much better job of putting the best candidate in the front of your hiring managers.
Nadav Klein is an owner of Vertigo Real Estate Ventures, a property investment firm with offices in North Carolina, Colorado, Florida, and California. Recently, he was searching for a new executive assistant.
We had posted an Instagram story and had everyone in our office in San Diego post the Instagram story on their own page. We had applicants within 24 hours, and we had interviews lined up for that whole week and had someone hired within a week and a half.
For job seekers feeling discouraged by the traditional hiring process and recruiters with a position to fill, why not meet people where they already are?
The moral of the story, shoot your shot.
Shoot your shot, 100%. Slide into the DMs.
Yeah.
All right, stay with us. We're going to have much more coverage of the devastating wildfires in California coming up after a quick break. We're staying on top of breaking news on the West Coast this morning. Several major wildfires forcing tens of thousands of people to evacuate in Southern California. For the latest, we join our affiliate KNBC in Los Angeles, which has been covering the fires nonstop.
Don't leave when you are told to leave. Then you will be calling for help. And those crews will then have to go out, of course, focus their efforts on rescuing life, and then leave the efforts of trying to save property. So again, right here, what they are stressing is leave your home, have your belongings ready, and be ready to go. Again, these winds picking up again, and you see the lines here, the power lines just dangling left and right. You know, we have a little bit of daybreak. You can see some of the sky right there mixed in with that billowing smoke, that thick gray smoke from all the fire that's been burning over the last several hours. And it makes it difficult to see, makes it difficult to breathe. So if you see those roadblocks, please be sure to stay out of these neighborhoods as they continue to burn. We'll send it back to you.
Annette, I wanted to ask you, just from where you are, how many homes would you estimate have burned? Because we talked with firefighters this morning, and the conditions are so bad right now, they can't get a count at this point. That's likely going to happen a little bit later on today. But just where you are, in the neighborhood that you're at, how many would you estimate have burned?
My goodness, dozens, Adrian, dozens. I mean, we see destroyed structures left and right. We make a turn onto a side street, and an entire neighborhood is just wiped out. I can't even begin to count or imagine just how many folks are going to be coming back to scorched earth. It is sad. It is truly, truly sad, because I can see how our fire officials really cannot get an estimate at this point as to how many homes have been affected by these wildfires. And just as you have a couple of them burning here, and they're trying to save the other 3-4 homes that are next door to this home that's burning, you never know, because these embers just keep going and blowing and blowing. And thankfully, they do have several engines now here on Mendocino Avenue. I was asking him about that. I said, you know, we were out here for a little bit, and we did not see you guys. And they said, I understand. Bear with us. We have spot fires bursting everywhere. We'll send it back to you.
Thank you, Annette. As we wait for the sun to come up and hopefully get some new numbers from officials and get an idea. It's terrifying to think about what we're going to find when we actually see the devastation and what's burned and what this fire has done. It's just absolutely terrifying.
Right now, we want to show you some of the images, and you're going to hear from some of the people impacted by this wildfire emergency that's happening right now here in Southern California.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app, or follow us on social media.